Hey guys, so I wanted to do a video about my New Year's resolutions, which are in some ways vague and some ways specific, and I have lots of feels about New Year's resolutions in general. I feel like new month's resolutions are way better, and I try to kind of reorganize my life at the beginning of a month or whenever I realize things have gotten out of control. So these New Year's resolutions, some of them are like being subsidized by a new month resolution of something that I'm working towards in January. And in addition to that, I have like my 10 New Year's resolutions that I've written down, but in my head I think that by the end of January I want to have 15 New Year's resolutions. So one of my goals in January is to kind of figure out what the goals are going to be for certain categories of my life that I've not yet set goals. So obviously there's an aspect of my channel that is primarily about veganism. And that means that I guess you would expect that some of my New Year's resolutions are about veganism, and that's totally, at this point, not true. Of my top 10 list, you'll see that none of them specifically have to do with food even at all. And there's a very specific reason for that, and that is because I've spent way too much time in my life thinking about and panicking about and worrying about whether my diet goals are good enough. So in the past couple of months, I've really been trying hard to fix that. Not fix that, I've just been trying hard to not think about it. Like, I've been a little bit more aware of letting myself eat things that I want to eat when I want to eat them, and like experience things a little bit more and be less tied to diet stuff. So that's why that's not even part of my New Year's resolutions, because I just don't want it to be something that I'm putting pressure on myself about. So I spilled tea. So one of my goals, which it's not my first goal, but you're going to kind of see that it's happening, is that I'm starting a bullet journal. And this is something I've tried to do several times in the past like year and a half or so. And you know, it works for a week, it works for 2 weeks maybe, and then I've just not really kept on with it. So this year's resolution is to actually do a good job at this. I'm going out of order of what my official New Year's resolution list is, but that, I guess, in a way, is number one, which is keep on top of a bullet journal, and hopefully that will help me to organize the things that I want to do and actually accomplish the goals that I want to accomplish, and just, I guess, kind of be more aware of the things that I don't accomplish and how I can maybe better accomplish them in the future. So goal number 2 is a reading goal, and this is something that I feel like this happens to a lot of people, but growing up, I was like a big reader, and then it just dropped off really quickly when I was in college. This year, I really want to be pushing myself to read more. And in the past few months, I actually have been pushing myself to read more. So I have a goal that is to read 30 books this year, which is, you know, less than 2 weeks per book, and I don't know if it's really going to happen. But for me, with the way that my schedule runs, I have a lot more time off in the spring than I do in the fall and winter, and I am hoping that what that means is that my goal of reading these 30 books is a little bit front-loaded. And my other goal is audiobooks, which right now I haven't set a number goal for audiobooks. I kind of want to see how it ends up working, because I also listen to a lot of podcasts. I have a 30 to 45 minute commute to work every day, and so I listen to a lot of podcasts, but one of my goals is that I will listen to podcasts, but in between also be listening to audiobooks. So I think I'm trying to gauge what happens in January so that I can more accurately set goals for the rest of the year. So goal number 3 is a waist goal. So this is something I've definitely not been doing as well as I would like to while I've been in China. And you can even see, right now I'm using a tea bag and this is waist. But the other thing is that in China, certain things about reducing my weight can be very difficult. I honestly don't really know how to recycle here. And so what I've been able to do is really reduce my plastic bag waste, but there are still things that I'm not doing 100%. So one thing specifically is that I do travel a lot in the spring, and because of that, and the fact that I live somewhere that the drinking water isn't potable, like, I end up drinking a lot of bottled water. But other things such as takeout containers, which in China it's just so easy to get takeout, and especially when I'm in the busy season at work, I'm eating a lot of my meals at the office, and sometimes I'm working 15 to 20 hour days and I just don't have time to bring my own lunch, and I end up getting takeout, and it ends up just being plastic container after plastic container, and I do try to use them over and over again, but yeah, it's just that I feel like I'm not doing as well as I could. Okay, so my fourth resolution is to volunteer. So what my goal is so I actually know someone, she works with the company I work for, that she helps run the like animal rescue one of the animal rescue shelters in Chengdu, and so my goal there is that I'm maybe going to talk to her and see if I can volunteer with her, maybe once a week, something like that, and hopefully that becomes a regular thing for me, but I'm not really sure exactly how it'll go, but that's a big goal for me, is to start doing more. Okay, so my next one is actually maybe on the same kind of vein as reading more books. I want to take online courses. And so my goal is to take 5 online courses this year, and this is something I think might waver a little bit and the exact number might change, but I feel like since I left college, I've been learning some things, but that there's some aspects of my like desire to learn new things that have been stunted a little bit. And so my goal there is to take some online courses and things that interest me, and hopefully, you know, like just move myself a little bit more forward in life. So number 6 is decluttering my digital life. My computer and my phone and stuff like that are just kind of a mess, and I have stuff from like years and years ago that I've tried a million times to go through, and so one of my big things, and this is probably more of a January goal than it is like a full term year goal, is to like declutter, get rid of, organize, and understand where all of the important documents on my computer, photos on my computer, where all of these things are, get as many things onto like Google Drive as are necessary and possible, make it so that my digital spaces are more easily utilizable, because if there's less shit on my actual computers, there is more space and more speed and stuff like that. Okay, so goal number 7 is a really big one for me, and it's something that I know I've been failing horribly at, which is to actually spend time learning Chinese on a weekly basis and really start to improve my skills. Now, something I've noticed over the past year and a half that I've been here is that some of my ability to communicate has kind of naturally developed. There are certain things that I can say, or certain things that I can at least in broken Chinese communicate, but there's a lot of things I can't do, and there's a lot of ways in which I can't communicate, but I need to. There's just this barrier, and it's really frustrating. I'm really making it a goal this year is to just do such a better job at learning Chinese. Okay, so goal number 8 is something that I'm hoping is kind of something that long term helps me, but also I know will change, and that is to build an at-home workout routine. And this has some stipulations. I want it to include stretching because I want to stretch more, and I also want it to be something that's maybe minimal equipment, maybe not no equipment, but minimal equipment, so that I can utilize it while I'm traveling. And the reason I'm doing this is I've had a gym membership for the past year and a half, but it is going to run out soon, and I don't think it makes sense for me to repurchase it, because as much as I did utilize it somewhat, I didn't feel like I utilized it as much as I should have, and investing in something like a set of resistance bands that I could use whenever, wherever, I feel like will be better for me, especially because I don't exactly know how much longer I'll be in Chengdu, which means getting a really long-term contract for a gym doesn't really make much sense. But also, there are things about my exercise routines that just I struggle like keeping on with something, and I really want to start improving the way that I deal with my physical health. So number 9 on my list is one that's actually kind of interesting and has to do primarily with the fact that I am currently an expat, and that is that I want to start a Roth IRA. Now, for a lot of salaried people in the US, you may have a 401k that your company is providing and helping you out on and matching some of the money on. I don't have that, and I don't know the next time I will, because I'm not sure if I'm going to be working in the US anytime soon. And in fact, I don't really think I plan to be doing that. And so my goal is to set up, and this is a goal that is kind of short term because I want to do it before the end of the fiscal year, so I need to do it before April for it to count in the 2017 fiscal year. Okay, so number 10. So the last main thing on my list that I've solidified is that I want to apply to grad school, and this is something that is very specific. There's a specific program I am going to be applying to, and I'm currently not really interested in other programs. And the way I view this is, if I'm not going to the program that I want to be going to, there are other ways I can be utilizing my time, and I don't want to go to a grad school I don't like just because I think I should be going to grad school. But the reason I really want to do this year, and actually this is a January goal, this is something I want to do as immediately as possible, and I'm really excited about because it may lead to opportunities for me to move to another place and spend time there and learn there, and I'm really excited about that. So onto my list of kind of maybe resolutions, in progress resolution kind of things. So one of them is particularly related to the at-home gym resolution, which I did say stretching was going to be a component of that, but that is something I really want to do, is be stretching regularly and kind of gain back mobility and flexibility that I have lost since basically since going to college a little bit, but even post-college it's gotten maybe a little bit worse. So that's something that's not super set in stone, but it's part of a different goal. The other goal is social media related, and yeah, so this is something that I'm going to be spending the month of January planning for, and hopefully really planning how I'm going to utilize social media this year. One of those things obviously is going to be YouTube. I haven't posted to this channel in a very long time, and I really want to start doing it more regularly again, and I've said that a bunch of times before, and it continues to not happen. So as you can see, that's only 2 extra things, I guess. It's not really that much, but I think that, like I said, I want to give myself room to develop and think more about what other things I can bring into my life and how I can make my life better. Oh, and I guess one last thing that I kind of want to say is that this goes kind of along with the stretching and just a holistic approach to my body feeling better, is that I have some issues and things, and I haven't been to a doctor since I left for China, and I want to fix that, and I want to go to doctors that are specialists that can maybe help me understand the things about my body that are hurting. Like I said, I have joints that hurt, or I have some digestive issues. So thank you guys for watching. Those were my 10 New Year's resolutions and then some. If you liked what you saw, potentially like the video, subscribe, comment on what was shitty about what you saw, because I'm still pretty new to this and I really want to get better at it. Yeah, thanks again, and I will hopefully see y'all again soon.